Good Monday evening, everyone. I'm Fox 19 now. First Alert Meteorologist Brad Maushart. No case of the miserable Mondays today. It was pretty nice. This comes after a very wet and very windy Sunday. In fact, it was one of our windiest Sundays we've seen. Well, not just Sundays, just one of our windiest days we've seen so far this year. Here's a look at it. 14.6 is our weather number of the day. That is 14.6 miles per hour. That was our average wind speed throughout the entire day yesterday. Max sustained winds of 32 miles per hour, and then we had gusts higher than that. That was just at the International Airport. It was not our windiest. Our most recent windiest day, that was our windiest we've seen since April the 18th. I mean, we had all of May, June, July, August, September. No days during those months did we see winds as high as what we saw yesterday. But not our windiest overall. That goes to March the 5th. We had an average wind speed of 20.1 miles per hour. Though I think easily this day, yesterday we had, makes it into the top 10. I didn't write everything down for that, but I think it was easily in the top 10, maybe even the top 5. In terms of gusts, like I said, we had some gusts higher than that. Hopefully you took down the decorations. I know Tricia was telling me earlier that she did not take down her giant inflatable dragon and then had to go chasing it through a neighbor's yard. So I tried to warn you. I even had a graphic specifically made for it. We're going to have some gusty winds again the next couple of days. Today we caught a nice little lull. Tomorrow we have another storm system rolling in. It's not going to be as windy as we saw outside with this, but we will still see some gusty winds out there Tuesday and Wednesday. We did see a lot of beneficial rainfall. Most areas here in the tri-state saw at least a half inch. International Airport picked up over an inch of rain. Wilmington Airport picked up 1.08. Kings Mills topped the list at 1.23 inches of rainfall up in Warren County. That has helped with our drought-like conditions. We got another big swath of relief from that, so we should be seeing barely any abnormally dry conditions now across the tri-state because of all the nice wet weather we have seen the last couple of weeks. With that, Dearborn County officially has dropped their burn ban, their outdoor burn ban. Franklin County still the only other county, and I checked that back at like 3 o'clock, so that might have changed. But Franklin County, at the end, are the only ones still with a burn ban officially at a county level. The light pink shaded areas, those are those seasonal bans for Ohio and Kentucky that last all the way through the rest of this month, through November, and for the Kentucky, it's all the way through December the 15th for the seasonal ban. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk about something different, and that is, how about Halloween? It's going to sneak up on you. A little scary. Under almost 10 days away. It's 11 days until Halloween, and you're really not going to like the next one. One day after that, on November the 1st, which is now 12 days away, daylight saving time comes to an end. This is the fallback version, which is, it's nice. You get an extra hour of sleep, right? That's how they get you. It's the extra hour of sleep, for the morning on November the 1st, 2nd, whatever it is, 12th, whatever it is, by early next weekend, right? Here's the problem. It also pulls that sunset time up 1 hour, so we're going to have sunsets right around the 5:30 time range going into the first week of November, so be prepared for that. Hello, Molly from Pleasant Plain. Hello to you, and hopefully your Monday's off to a good start. We were a little warmer today. I didn't have to tell you that. It was crisp this morning, right? But this afternoon, with all that sunshine we saw, it was nice and warm outside. Right now, mostly clear skies will allow these temperatures to take a dive pretty quickly into the low 50s by about midnight. But after that, clouds are going to start to push back in, and a southerly breeze that we do still have right now at the airport, south wind to 8, going to help to keep the temperatures up just a little bit higher than what we saw outside with some frost this morning or some dew on the windshield. 57 is where we're at now. We'll get back to about 50 degrees and then stall there for the rest of the night. 57 in Middletown, 55 in Wilmington, 59, almost still 60 degrees over in West Union. A little wider view of what's going on across the Ohio Valley. Low 60s to mid 60s there off of the west. That's our latest warm wave that'll sweep in. Tomorrow we'll hit the mid 60s. Not bad, but it's going to come with a chance for some showers outside. So, again, looking at it compared to yesterday, anywhere between about 5 to 15 degrees warmer here in most spots in the Ohio Valley. There's some of that thin cloud cover that's going to start to sweep back in already in central Illinois. There's our next storm system, not as potent as the one we saw yesterday. I told you it's going to be breezy still. We'll still have some wind gusts from that system, upwards of 25, 30 miles an hour at times through the day tomorrow and into early Wednesday. So be prepared for that. Rain chances, though, are going to be much more sparse. Good evening, Darla. I did have a good weekend. Yesterday was a little busy. Not necessarily for me because it was a weathery day, because since it was so nasty outside, I had to take care of all the chores. So yesterday was a busy indoor day. And I saw Rob running down the sidewalk with his dog yesterday in the pouring rain. Did not look like a good time for the dog to take a bathroom break. So yeah, it was one of those days yesterday. Not a great day, but hopefully everybody found some time to be productive with all the rain that pushed on through. Tomorrow's chance is much more spotty. Just a slim chance, but you know how it is around here. Just a little bit of rainfall can definitely bring things to a screeching halt in the morning drive, so prepare just mentally for the slowdowns tomorrow morning. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but every time I say that, it just one semi-driver that can't find his windshield wipers or something, it always happens, right? So just be prepared for that. I'm getting a tree cut down Wednesday. Wednesday looks good. It's still going to be a little breezy outside. I recently had a tree cut down. That didn't seem to be a concern, winds, so it depends on what kind of equipment they're going to be using, how they're going to take it down, but I don't think, the winds aren't going to be anything like what we saw outside yesterday, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. Here we go into Tuesday afternoon. We'll catch a little bit of a break, so we have some morning showers tomorrow. We catch a break around lunchtime. And then as we work way into, tomorrow evening, we'll see another chance for a few downpours. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder, but most of that looks to be I-70 or northward through the day Tuesday. And then into Wednesday, we'll hang on to some clouds. I mean, it's going to be a little gloomy outside through the day, and that's going to keep temperatures a little cooler, too. The winds behind this are going to shift again. We'll see a north wind, yeah. But it looks dry for Wednesday, so that shouldn't be a big issue there. It's going to be that cool down. Here comes the winds. There's Tuesday. Again, I don't think it's going to be as windy as what we saw outside Sunday, but we'll still see some healthy gusts, over 30 miles an hour through the day tomorrow behind that storm system. And then Wednesday we hang on through about midday to some of those breezy conditions. So that could be your only problem when it comes to trees. And then things calm down by the end of the week. High school football looks good outside, much calmer. And then we have some ups and downs the next several days. And this is the big down into the end of the week. As we lose our cloud cover, we're going to lose that blanket, right? The atmospheric blanket. Temperatures are going to take a dive. And if you haven't seen frost yet this season, there's a good chance you'll see it Friday. Officially, no frost advisories are out yet. But don't be surprised if by Friday morning we don't see some in the area, for those that haven't seen the frost yet. Now, with that said, you have until Thursday night, or before Friday morning, right? Thursday night to get, the plants inside. Don't forget to bring the pets in to start, getting that happening this time of the year, because it will be pretty chilly out there early Friday morning. Or protect the plants, whatever you got, sensitive plant-wise. At the end of growing season anyway, we're pretty close to it, right? Those earlier sunsets, so I don't know how much more of the plants have left in them. But if you can bring them inside, this would be your opportunity before things cool down into the end of the week. Don't forget, how about some shameless self-promotion of the weather app? How about taking this with you? You probably got some use out of it yesterday, right? It was telling me, and my phone was going off, that rain was in the area, and that was pretty much on and off through the day. Some heavy rain, in fact, was pushing in the morning. That's where I got my first notification. Download the First Alert Weather app. Go to fox19.com/apps. Really easy link for you to find that, and it's on Apple and Google devices. Great app to have, because not only does it tell you about rain and lightning and everything else, but you do get the severe weather alerts. Luckily, we do not have any big severe weather chances in the forecast. I think our next best chance of storms, or more potent storms, probably going to come in Tuesday of next week, which is great timing, because we have 72 hours of Cincinnati sports happening this weekend, some important games and matchups, starting on Saturday with a UC home game. Sunday, of course, we have the Bengals taking on the Jets. And then Monday of next week, we have FC Cincinnati in a playoff, game number 1 of potentially 3. It's a best-of-3 series. Hopefully it's just 2. 2 wins, make it that. Against Columbus, that's next Monday, this time next week. Big game there. And it looks like all 3 of those, UC could be a little dicey. We'll talk about that. But After we get rid of this rain tomorrow, we are clearing back out, and then, like I said, it's just cooler towards the end of the week, especially through those morning hours. You'll see here Thursday into early Friday morning, not a lot of cloud cover there before things get a little bit cloudier Friday night. So that's where we can see some frost. Early Friday evening, the clouds build back in, and that'll hold the temperatures up as we work way into the weekend. Filtered sunshine, no issues for high school football. Saturday, not a washout, but the rain shower opportunities will be there. I'm not really expecting much in the way of lightning with the Saturday system, so that's good. They'll still play in that over at Nippert Stadium. But if you're going to be out there, just note that as early as tailgating and through that game, we could see some showers out there as UC host Baylor. Then we fast forward to Sunday. I think that easily the drier of the 2 days this weekend. We'll see if that changes. Still a long ways out, but at least for now, that Bengals game looking promising on Sunday. And then Monday looks good, too, before our next rain and storm opportunity rolls through on Tuesday. Right now, not a big severe weather chance day, but it is a more potent low that'll be diving on through. Better chances for rain overall, and it's our next chance anyway for some lightning. That'll be coming in Tuesday. So FC Cincinnati, at least for the time being, their home leg of the playoff series looks good with highs back in the upper 60s. That'll be our warmest day of the next 10. Comes in on Monday, this time next week, 69 degrees, and then we're dropping again as we clear out and cool down behind that next system. And here's how much we cool down. Normal lows at the start of the 10 days here is 44. So we're above that tomorrow because of the clouds rolling in. We quickly drop below it on Wednesday, Thursday, and especially into the day Friday. That's where I do think we could see some frost outside. By this weekend, things start to tick back up again, well above normal by more than 10 degrees on Tuesday, and that is the next chance we have to see some stronger storms, or just storms in general, right? And then we tumble right back down. Below normal again by the time we hit the end of the forecast. So we had the doldrums for a while where it wasn't active at all. We had no rain chances anywhere to be seen, and now you start to see this up and down, right? The jet stream has a lot more ups and downs with it, and with that, better chances for rain, an unsettled weather pattern ahead. The rest of the week, once we get past the spotty showers tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all look great. Saturday's where things start to pick up, but even then, through the weekend, I told you we have 3 big days of Cincinnati sports, 4 if you count high school football, right? Friday, great. Saturday, not a washout. Sunday, the Bengals. FC Cincinnati, Monday. All 3 of those days, better chance than not to, if we see anything, it's just going to be the garden variety showers. Tuesday is our next best chance to see some thunderstorms and then cooler temperatures and lesser rain chances. Let's give you the first 7 of a 10-day forecast. How about we give it to you a little bit bigger? How about that? Ups and downs. Just every day is a little bit different. 66 tomorrow with a chance for rain. Breezy conditions as well Tuesday and Wednesday. We calm down. We clear out by the end of the week. And as we do, those overnight lows, as you can see, will plummet back into the upper 30s, if not the mid-30s, Friday morning, depending on where you're at in the tri-state. By Friday afternoon, the clouds roll back in, and that's ahead of the Saturday chances. Scattered showers there. Don't cancel the plans to go to UC, but, might take the rain gear, the poncho with you. Sunday, slim chance for showers. Looking good for the Bengals game as of today. We'll keep an eye on that, monitor that. Same with FC Cincinnati. Things look really nice. Not as mild as what we saw outside this past Saturday, but still pretty good for hell is real. I don't know what you call that in the playoffs. The hellest is realist because we have 2 games within a span of a week. Against Columbus. This one at home. Then we have one up in Columbus, and hopefully that's all it takes for FC Cincinnati to progress into the next round of the playoffs. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we're back up again. Storm chances roll in, and then temperatures take a dive. So a lot going on in the forecast. As I mentioned, great time to download that app so you can keep track of everything. Just depends on the day. We have a little bit of something different happening each of these days. So with that said, don't forget, you can also not just download the app, but you can also follow me on social media. I'd appreciate that. It's Facebook, Meteorologist Brad Maushart. You just type in my last name. Usually it pops up pretty quick. At BRAAAD Weather on the Twitter. And then on Instagram, it's at CallMeBrad. I botched getting cloning my laptop to a new laptop. Right, got a new laptop, was trying to copy over my old one, and I ruined it. So that is in service and is trying to, the new laptop anyway, trying to get that figured out, but the whole reason I bring this up is because on Instagram I usually post a bunch of pictures, and I'm like on a backlog because my other laptop wasn't editing the photos fast enough. That's one of the reasons I got a new one. Anyway, so there will be some new pictures eventually on Instagram, and that's usually where that stuff happens. But you'll probably have some pictures on Facebook too, because some of it was Cincinnati weather, and we had with the River Roots Festival that happened, not this past weekend, but the one before that. I got some great pictures of the Natchez and some other things happening around. So all that is just sitting on my camera waiting to be edited. And yeah, it just hasn't happened yet. Anyway, follow me there. Don't forget as well, here's one more thing. This is one thing I forgot to point out tonight. Since you guys stayed on so long, 13 of you, at least on this view that I'm seeing. Here's one more thing. If you're really bored in the next hour and a half or so, once things get dark enough, because it is not there yet, how about this? You can check out the Orionid meteor shower. This is this evening, once it gets dark enough, and it should be pretty dark on the eastern horizon now, and that's where you're going to want to look. The Orionids, you can see about 5 to 15 meteors an hour here in town. If you're more in the out in the darkness of the suburbs, you might see a little bit more, a few more maybe an hour. Not our biggest meteor shower, not our greatest, not really big on the fireballs or anything, but something to check out. Ignore the fact that it says moon above horizon, because that will not be over there. I just forgot to turn that off. But nonetheless, look east for constellation Orion, and if you probably see Orion's belt. That's the easy thing to pick out, right? Generally in that area is where these meteors will originate, and they come from Halley's Comet. Yeah, all the debris from that is what we're flying through tonight. That is our peak tonight. So with the clear skies up until about 2 to 4 in the morning, you should be able to see these pretty good. Maybe get out there, check that out. I know we still have our comets out there, but I really don't think you're going to have a good time trying to see those. They're just not that bright. You can certainly see them right now, but probably not unless you're using really good binoculars or a telescope or a camera with a long, duration exposure. So either way, those are more so going to be in the western sky. I know the one comet, I think it's Lemon, is to the left. If you're looking off to the due west, you'll see the Big Dipper. And you can check out and take a look to the left of that. If you're feeling lucky. If not, you're not going to have a great time seeing things out there tonight. Anyway, wanted to point those things out because, that's happening out there. Some people like that kind of stuff. If you don't, just enjoy the evening. Another fire pit kind of night as these temperatures drop off. Really nice looking sunset out there. This is what I'll leave you with. Just watch out for some showers to slow you down tomorrow morning. Enjoy your evening, everybody. We'll track those for you, and we'll have more on the weekend rain chances coming up in the next couple of days. But either way, enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you again tonight. It's going to be a late night for us because we have baseball on, and it's game number 7 of the ALCS. Marlins, not the Marlins. Who am I kidding? The Mariners, not the Marlins. They didn't even make the playoffs. Not even close. The Mariners, and we also have the Blue Jays, Canada, America, East, West. We'll see what happens with that. Either way, that game is going to be running from 8 o'clock until who knows when. And whenever it ends, and all the post-game celebrations have ended, we will be on. It's probably not going to be until like 11:40, but you'll see us tonight with a half hour of news and sports. We'll see you then.